All right, so one of the core mantras at Tasty is trade small and trade often. Like if you've been hanging around the network for any length of time, like you know that we are high volatility premium sellers. We're out of the money, high probability, let the math do the heavy lifting type of traders where being small is baked into the philosophy because we want to give the probabilities a chance to breathe over time. We're not trying to win on a single trade. We want to win over a series of trades, over many trades, over a series of weeks and months and quarters. That's a very different approach than maybe like a trade once, trade big type of situation. Because in that world, man, one bad trade can quickly knock you out before the probabilities even have a chance to work. So the question we're going to tackle today is, what does small actually mean, specifically related to defined risk strategies? So before we get into the sizing specifics, let's take a second and just zoom out and address one of the questions that every trader has to ask himself or herself right out of the starting gate. Do I want to do defined risk or do I want to do undefined risk? And generally speaking, the answer to that question is very rarely a yes or no or an all or nothing type of thing. Most portfolios over time are going to have a mixture of the two. Now, obviously, the allocations that go into each category are going to differ. They're going to differ based on experience level, skills and abilities, account size, and things of that nature. But most portfolios, there is a home for both defined risk and undefined risk strategies. That's because each of these strategy types offer traders very unique benefits. With undefined risk strategies, so your short puts, your short strangles, your ratio spreads, those come with some real advantages, right? You have higher probabilities. You have unfiltered exposure to the Greeks. You have an easier time making adjustments to the trade. So if things go sideways, you can very easily manage that position by simply rolling up or down the strikes, adding duration, maybe even transforming the original strategy into something new entirely. But with undefined risk strategies, as the name implies, there is no cap to how bad things could get. Now, yes, as you get more skilled and your abilities improve, there's lots of different management techniques that you can deploy to an undefined risk position that has gone against you. But just to be clear, when you are in an undefined risk position, there is quite literally no worst case scenario that is known on entry. So then, many traders are going to or might prefer defined risk strategies. So these are going to be your iron condors, your vertical spreads, your butterflies, etc. The beauty of these trades is simple. Your worst case scenario is known on order entry. The max loss is locked in. It's printed right there on the trade bar. Like, provided that you don't go fiddling with the strikes and changing the risk parameters of the original position, you know just how bad it can get right from the very beginning. That's obviously a huge benefit. There's a certain type of psychological freedom that comes with knowing just how bad it could possibly get. You already planned for it and you accepted it. Okay, so with defined risk positions, what type of sizing parameters should you consider with this type of strategy? Generally speaking, somewhere in the range of 1% to 3% of your net liquidating value, so your account value per position, is small enough to give the probabilities a chance to play out over time. So suppose you have a $50,000 account. That means for defined risk positions, you're going to want to live somewhere between $500 per position, that's 1%, up to $1,500 per position, that's 3%. Naturally, try to stay consistent with where you live in that spectrum. If you like 500, then try to stay at 500. If you like 1,500, then try to stay at 1,500. That way, there aren't any surprises later on down the road after you've done 10 or 20 or 50 trades. Or maybe you have a $100,000 account. Now your 1 to 3% range is going to be $1,000 on the low end, 1%, up to $3,000 on the high end, or 3%. Again, this is plenty small enough such that no single stock, no single expiration, no single strategy is going to take you down. Again, try to be consistent. Is it going to be $1,000 at 1%? Is it going to be $3,000 at 3%? That way things are smooth over time. And when you collect a number of trades, you can really dial in to whether or not that strategy or that approach to the market is working for you. All right, fair enough. But are there situations where you might actually fall outside of this 1 to 3% range? Yes. If you're working with a smaller account, so let's say $5,000 or $7,000 or $10,000, you might find that you will routinely and regularly need to go above the top side of this range. With less capital, one of the concessions that you simply have to make is slightly larger position sizes, especially with defined risk strategies. So instead of being 1 to 3%, you might find that you're actually at 4% or 5% or even more with your defined risk strategies. On the flip side, if you're working with a larger account, so say 150,000, 250,000, 500,000, a million, or even more, you're actually going to find that you can very easily go underneath the lower end of this range. You can now comfortably operate at 0.5% per position, 0.25% per position. And with that type of scale at that portfolio size, these positions are still very economically significant. So the truth is, with more capital, you do have a built-in advantage to where you can trade small, trade often more easily, and really give the probabilities a chance to work. So position sizing is certainly not the most exciting topic in trading. I mean, nobody's going viral for talking about 1% of net lick. But if you ask most experienced traders, myself included, where their biggest mistakes came from, what you'll learn is this: some were on the long side, some were on the short side, some were individual stocks and some were indexes. But the one common denominator across almost every single one is they were sized too big. So size your defined risk strategies at 1 to 3% of your account, trade small and trade often, and we'll see you guys next time.